6 of Stargate SG-1 introduced a number of new changes to its format, to its cast, and to its overall arc of the series. One of the big changes, of course, was Michael Shanks leaving the show to pursue other goals, other shows, other movies, and etc. And he was replaced by Corin Nemec, basically to fulfill that Daniel Jackson smart human character, even though he himself was an alien, which actually brought SG-1 to have 2 humans and 2 aliens on his team. And of course, one of the things they changed was very subtle, without a single fanfare or difference, and it was just kind of slipped in, and that was a patch on the right-hand sleeve underneath the SG-1. Now, it did show up for the first time in the 3rd episode, Descent, and as I said, it was completely added in, no attention was drawn to it, it was just kind of there. The story goes that as SG-1 started looking more at Area 51, dealing with aliens and talking about some of the more earthly customs of aliens and government task forces and whatnot, that the Air Force wasn't very happy. In fact, they used to have, or did throughout most of the series, have someone there from the Air Force to make sure that as far as the humans were concerned, or as the SG teams were concerned, that they followed procedure and were, you know, pretty much authentically Air Force or at least military based in their actions and how they portrayed themselves. So as a way to apologize, they added this patch of the Air Force logo. So a lot of fans affectionately call it the Air Force or Area 51 apology patch. And it has actually spawned numerous versions of it since it first arrived. Number of teams that want to do their own thing in localized areas. So if you're in Canada and you got together and you wanted to have your own SG team, you got a Canadian flag patch, or as one of my groups here locally did, we did the Royal Canadian Air Force logo to kind of match the United States Air Force logo, and there's Australian divisions and everything, and it's just a fantastic way to kind of show country pride along with your favorite show. One of the things that happened, as I've mentioned in previous videos, and I will mention in some further patch videos, is that when something comes out, immediately the fans jump on it and do their own interpretation based on the information they have. When Season 6 came out, there still wasn't a lot of high-resolution photos, not a lot of detailed photos of the patches especially, so there wasn't a lot of great reference for it, so they did what they could and came up with the patch. And as you're looking here, you'll see that the patch was approximately around 3 inches round, had the Air Force logo in it, and it had its black border, and that's pretty much it. There was some debate whether or not it was fully embroidered or partially embroidered and whatnot, and it served its point. Now for me personally, I always thought it was a little big. I didn't know what the actual size was, and it wasn't until later on in seasons 9 and 10 started coming out that better promotional images came out, higher resolution images came out, and of course after season 10, and after Atlantis season 5 and Stargate SG-1 season 2 is when the auctions started coming out, and we started getting actually excellent scans and photos of the props and patches of the series. One thing I noticed back in season 8, that's when I started really getting into Stargate, if you recall from my last video about Stargate patches, that is when I started getting into Stargate. That's when I started really noticing details. And one of the first things I noticed was that the logo kind of looked like it was outlined. It was, like I said, the current patches on the market looked a little too big, but also just a little wrong. I couldn't figure out what was going on, if I was seeing some drop shadows and whatnot. But thankfully, when materials were sold off from PropWorks, started actually noticing how the patch was made, and it was great to see that. Now obviously one of the first things I like to do is to get a perfect patch is to somehow get an original, and I did. I had the opportunity to get an original Air Force patch from the series, and then I was able to take that patch and replicate it. On top of my patch maker that I've used in the past, and we were able to knock out a number of these almost perfect, and I'm so happy with the results. As you can see here, they look almost exactly the same, and I'm so happy about that. The silvers do match my SG-1 patch as well, which I'll talk about in a later video, of course. But this patch is just so cool. Such a small detail, but as I mentioned in previous videos, sometimes the small details make it amazing. Now, ironically, my costume that's right here is an original Stargate jacket. However, it didn't have the spot on it for that patch, and I opted not to add a piece of Velcro just to add it. So it's just one of those pieces that actually just sits in my collection, but it's a little proud point for me to come in and get this done right. So if you have any questions about that, ask me in the comments below. I'll have some links there where you can actually directly purchase that patch. I hope you do, because it's a really fun piece to get. Be sure to subscribe if you want to keep, you know, upgoing with my videos. I will have more and more Stargate ones coming up, as well as some Doctor Who and maybe even some more Star Wars ones. I got some exciting props en route to me that I should have by the end of this year, which I'm so excited to share. So subscribe if you want to check those out when they come out. Anyway, click here if you want to check out my Stargate SG-1 breakdown, and click here if you want to check out my video from last week. Anyway, thanks for liking and subscribing, and as always, thanks for watching.